Welcome into this Tuesday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal McCready, Clark Ford at studio this morning, getting started. We will talk some football. We'll talk, I don't know what we'll talk about today. It's a little bit of a slow news day, but I'm sure we find something, as we always have for years now on the Oxford Exxon Podcast. And every single day, right when we start the podcast, my phone beeps. I know to put it on silent, and we're good to go now for the next hour or so. So, podcast brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. You know, to get that mobile rewards card, fill up at least 8 gallons of gas, and you're automatically entered into the free gas for your sweepstakes. You only have 2 more days. I guess 3 more days, technically, if you count today. It goes through Halloween through October 31st before they pick a winner, and you're, again, automatically entered. If you have the card, you use it, and then 8 gallons of gas or more at the Blue Sky in Oxford, Blue Skies throughout Mississippi, or in the Oxford Exxon included there. So take advantage of that. And again, coming from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's that simple. It's right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around, or you can do what I've done, what a lot of people have done who listen to our family of podcasts, and that's get into a Clark Ford today. You'll love the product. You'll love the service that you get after the sale. Corey wants to be your car guy. He wants to be your truck guy. He will take care of you. He'll prove to you what that means once you make the call. 662-257-1900.
So what is kind of the schedule for the podcast of the week? You know yet? We doing G-Pits or anything like that? What we got?
Yeah. Taping Greatest Pod in the South on Thursday. Taping a soft verbal podcast with Zach Berry tomorrow. I think I'm taping a Mind on My Money podcast later today, and still kind of working on some beer garden stuff.
But we're running that one at a later date, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The much anticipated Corey Clark appearance on Mind on My Money will be
not an infomercial for Clark Ford.
It is not. It will be published tomorrow. It's actually pretty interesting. It's about predatory lending.
Is it?
Yes. Which is a real thing.
I believe you.
Yeah.
You asked me last week if
Today's your birthday?
No, it's not. They do it every day. You don't notice that?
Oh no.
Yeah, no. My birthday's in December.
I'm such a non-birthday person that birthdays just I pay no attention. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I know when my kids' birthdays are and stuff because I'm not stupid, but I don't think about birthdays as like a big deal.
No, you almost get kind of anxious around your birthday in a way that people might talk about it nonstop.
Yeah.
You have an anxiety around your birthday, but not in the way of getting older, the way of, hey, just leave me the hell alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the reason.
For sure.
Because we do this every year. You go, hey, what I want for my birthday is to be left alone for like 4 hours. Want a book and a television or whatever I choose and a drink.
Absolutely.
And we said, hey, it's Neal's birthday, 6 o'clock tonight. We're just all going to go completely out of the way, and he can do whatever he wants the rest of the day. That's your present.
That'd be awesome. So it'd be fantastic.
No contact, no speech, nothing.
Be fantastic.
You're not the, hey, let's go have the dinner with the 28 people and have the big rigmarole.
God, no. No.
That's one of my favorite things. I usually have like kind of a birthday dinner, and I sort of have a good time. It's one of my things.
I don't know that I could put 28 people together.
Well, 28 was being hyperbolic. Yeah. It's not 28, but
no, not my thing.
Not your thing.
Not at all.
But no, what I was saying is we were mentioning the candy bar thing. I am having to really do a lot of temptation to not grab those little fun size things now. It is that time of the year for 3 or 4 days where it is a really lot of willpower. It's a difficult deal right now for me.
And there's a decent chance Halloween's going to get rained out, and you're going to have all that candy in your house.
Oh, that's not good. You got to get rid of it. You got to take it to somebody.
Absolutely.
Got to do something. Because and they've done a pretty good job. It's a lot of peanut butter cups. And just the regular ones, not the bats or the witches or ghosts or whatever they are. Not those awful
butter.
White chocolate things.
No.
Because that's not chocolate. Don't do that. Somebody mentioned this on the board, and they're right. The original cups, the regular peanut butter cups, have so much better of a chocolate peanut butter ratio than the other stuff. There's too much peanut butter for me in the specialty Reese's cups. The actual regular cups have the better ratio from a chocolate peanut butter standpoint.
I haven't had one in so long, but that's...
You're such a peanut butter guy. I would think that'd be up your alley.
Oh, yeah. No, I could put peanut butter on anything and be pretty happy. Guy Fieri would say put it on a flip-flop. That'd be a little strong, but I like peanut butter.
You like Nutella?
Oh, yeah.
Fine there, too?
Yeah. Like, that's in the house all the time. And
peanut butter, you can kind of convince yourself it's not, like, crazy unhealthy. Nutella's just sugar and stuff.
Nutella's just flat bad for you. And very
peanut butter, you can convince yourself a little bit.
Very tempting. I try to, I have some, we'll do whatever. I have some sunflower butter.
Guys, whatever. I have nothing.
I'll use it as a peanut butter substitute. It's not as good, but I can sort of get the fix.
Almond butter is the one I prefer if I have to do one of those.
Yeah, I like almond butter. Okay.
Now the stores really like almond butter. It's not cheap.
No.
Almond flour is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had some grain-free taco shells that were pretty decent last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where'd you get those?
Ordered them somewhere. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
No, just laughing.
What are you laughing at?
Just laughing at us.
Did you have I missed a joke there.
No, it's not even a joke. I don't know.
They were made out of some kind of alternate flour. I don't know, but they're pretty good. Actually, I thought they were better than regular hard shell tortillas or shells.
I can see that.
They was a little crispier, a little almost like you kind of you didn't burn them, but almost kind of like you burned them, burned them a little bit. It was really, really, really good. Yeah, guys, I'll get to something in a minute. Peanut butter has a piece of vegetables. No. Anyway, sorry. Look, I was going to talk about, I'm kind of get on topic somebody wants to hear about. I'm sorry. I'm scatterbrained this morning. I was going to talk about the media op yesterday. And frankly, there were 5 questions to Matt Luke.
Yeah.
Is that right? It lasted,
I don't know.
It lasted less than 5 minutes. It's a couple things. There's nothing really to say at this point. On anyone. That's not even really a criticism of Matt Luke. He answers what's asked for the most part.
Yeah.
It's a scoreboard business. We say that all the time. It's become a running joke. It's become one of our little catchphrases. But it's the truth. You're going to win or lose, and you're going to win or lose enough that people are going to be more annoyed. I mean, you mentioned to me a second ago, you got another mailbag coming out tomorrow. And without spoiling too much, it's again, for the second week in a row, coach questions. Over and over and over and over and over again.
A few other things sprinkled in, but the general theme is, are we firing a coach? And if we are firing a coach, and if we don't fire the coach, do we roll the coach over and all of that stuff? And it's just, here's what struck me yesterday. You cover baseball, I cover basketball. We had a media op with Kermit Davis.
Mm-hmm.
There were lots of questions, solid answers, interesting topic. They still haven't played a game.
They had a closed scrimmage against Texas that no one really knows what happened.
Yeah, and he's playing along with the rules.
The NCAA has a really dumb rule where you can't talk about it. I don't know why. It is the dumbest. In a collection of dumb NCAA rules, it's maybe the dumbest. Because please tell me the negative of discussing a closed scrimmage.
Well, what they should have done was...
It shouldn't be closed.
Yeah, open it to $5 tickets and the money goes to some charity. That'd be the cool thing.
Yeah, instead they go to New Orleans and do it in a closed arena
and
or wherever it was.
Who won? Well, I don't know. No,
they don't play a straight game. Yeah, it's a lot of situational stuff.
Well, because I think they had some game, and then they did some stuff. What I could gather, they did some stuff where Kermit basically told Shaka Smart, "Hey,
I need to see this.
I kind of want to get the following on film. So can we set up a deal?" And then Shaka gets to turn around and go, "Cool, I did that for you. Now I need to get this on film. Can we sort of do this where you play these guys?" And then they did the deal where I got to figure out whether I'm processing this kid or not. So I'm going to give him some minutes. So we're going to keep score and all that stuff. But
I'm not trying to win this basketball game.
Keep in mind that if we were really trying to cut each other's throat out here, that kid wouldn't play.
Yeah.
And Shaka's like, yeah. You know the one over there? That's him, me too.
Well, because like Orange Bloods had a very quick little paragraph or two about it, and I discounted this part of it. He said, he goes, it sounds like Texas won by 5 in the 40-minute game. There wasn't a 40-minute game, so that can't be correct.
Actually, it was a 50-minute game.
But it had a lot of situational stuff throughout it.
The obsession, and I'm not talking about fans, but media with who won. Nobody won. it didn't count.
Yeah.
So nobody won. And then I loved Kermit's answer, and boy, it was a great answer. Not Brian Scott. Somebody asked him, I think Nathaniel Gabler asked him, hey, what do you try to get out of this first month? Wins.
He said what?
Wins.
Wins.
Proof of what we're talking about with the other. It's scoreboard business. You don't keep score in the scrimmages, but by God, the minute that first ball goes up against Arkansas State, you're keeping score.
Did I divert you from your point? You said something about...
Yeah,
okay.
It's this.
Okay.
One program has energy, and one program doesn't. Now, is that me advocating? I'm not. And I'm still consistently saying what I have said all along. If people say, what would you do? Number one, it doesn't matter what I would do. Number two, if you must know what I would do, I would probably keep him another year. One of two things is going to happen in the first 7 games of next season. They're either going to break through or they're all going to fire themselves.
Yeah, 2-5 is not sustainable.
No, if they're 2-5 after 7 games, that means realistically they lost to Baylor, Alabama, LSU, Auburn, and Florida. You've made no progress on the scoreboard. Getting close won't matter anymore. That won't be a talking point, and it's over. And everybody goes, well, the second half of the schedule. Look, human beings at 2-5, they will be flat, and they're not going to go run the table. Reality. And in that second half of the season, they have road games. I mean, I'm not willing to sit here today and tell you, oh, yeah, Ole Miss at Texas A&M, win.
In College Station.
Ole Miss at Arkansas, oh, definitely a win. Probably a win, but not definitely. I don't know what they're going to look like.
I don't know what Arkansas looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know who their coach is going to be.
Who their coach is, who their quarterback is, who anything is. How can you say that? So I look at it and think, well, so if they're 3-4, that means they beat somebody. If they're 4-3, that means they beat 2 somebodies. This thing's figured out. But if they're 2-5, it's over. Now, people say, well, what do you do then? Do you roll his contract over? If you're not going to roll his contract over, you fire him.
At the end of this year.
Yes.
So you're stuck on a $6 million buyout no matter when you do it, in your opinion.
Yeah. And I'm not getting hung up on that either. I'm not doing that deal where, okay, we'll secretly do the Andy Kennedy thing. Nope.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Either roll the
contract over. Let me ask you a question,
over.
though. No, seriously. Sure. This is a serious question. It's hid behind the foundation. We all know what the buyout is, but we don't have a copy of it. We have no way to get a copy of it.
Right.
It's kind of like with Andy Kennedy. I mean, I like AK a ton, but I do at least have this question. Why? Why not do the recruiting side of securing it? But if you believe in yourself, why do you go to the mat for the extra whatever it is from $1 million standpoint? Like, because you can just change the language.
You can.
Roll it over, go to 4 years, don't increase the buyout. I mean, to me, I'd worry about a coach that goes, oh, no. If you don't do that, I've got a serious problem. Yeah. I mean, whoa, I'm fixing your issue. Your issue is recruiting.
Yeah, you
I'm
still
fixing
have 4
that.
years on your deal. Yeah. And
why?
I don't know. Probably because his agent would say it's a terrible precedent.
Okay, well.
I mean, that's probably would be the answer.
And again, this is not about Matt Luke or Andy Kennedy or anybody, but I think that's the point where you look at the agent and go, you're whatever in the last 2 years. Go get another gig. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, and just so you know, and for anybody, I'm not hung up on it or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if Matt Luke were to walk in there and say, hey, I don't take my buyout completely away, I don't care. I mean, I have no idea what anybody would say. He's got an agent, and the agent's going to represent him professionally because he's one of the best in the business. But from a semantics standpoint, you're either with him or you're not. I know we're getting into the Groundhog Day portion of the show.
It's fine.
But you're either with him and you believe in him or you don't.
Because Andy bet on himself.
Well,
there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, there's a lot to this that some of it's never.
The comparison, frankly, is not even really fair.
Right. Some of it's never really going to get out. Andy was. He was stubborn about it because he didn't like the way it was done. Bottom line. He would have handled that much better had he not felt like it was a backdoor sort of a thing. Just walk in the front door and say, hey, here's where we are.
And that's a lot of just knowing management, knowing people, because that's how you would handle Andy with anything.
Yes.
Do not do the roundabout thing. Just tell him.
Just talk to him.
He's cool.
Yeah, he would have handled it differently had that happened. But by that point, I think he and Ross basically had already reached an agreement. And then Vitter comes in, and we're not revising history. Here's what happened. He did not like Jeff Vitter at all. And when Vitter came in and did that, he just went, F it. No, I'm going to be stubborn. And he knew at that point, hey, look.
It's coming down to this one season. If I win, okay.
Yeah.
If I don't, okay.
And Andy had gotten tired. I think he would admit that. Been here a long time. There's a lot of politics that you fight at Ole Miss. I'm sure you fight them everywhere, but you fight them here. And he had fought them for a long time. And he was tired. He would admit that now. He was beat. I don't think he knew it. It was just grinding. You know, the grind stops and you have a couple of days and you go, oh, wow, man, I realized I was this tired. I think he was him. That was him. But I don't know.
That was a weird day when all that happened. AK and the Vitter and the rollover thing.
Yeah, that was a weird day. It was a lot there.
I was driving to Memphis and the phone just...
It was revelatory of just how bad of a people manager Jeff Vitter was.
My favorite irony of that whole thing is that, you know, in the Ole Miss lexicon, the whole PowerPoint and Hunter Carpenter thing has come out, and that's not what that PowerPoint was for. It got repurposed by Vitter in a way that basically was unfair to everyone involved because Vitter was trying so hard to gain his own capital.
Yes.
That's all it was. Vitter was trying to save himself, and he repurposed. I mean,
that's how you go after Andy Kennedy.
I got to shut up, but it just, oh God, like.
Well, it really wasn't fair to Hunter Carpenter.
No,
the more
not
that
even a little bit.
The more that you find out about it, the more that it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, no, not fair at all.
It shows you why that spot, that position has to be a person who's good with people.
The chancellor position?
The chancellor position. A president at a university.
It only took us 17:22 today.
You've got to be a person who has people skills. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Everybody that knows him likes him, Neil. We've been over this.
I'm not even talking about him right now. Just in general. At any school, you got to have a people person in that spot. He or she has to have people skills.
It's the majority of that job. The majority of that job is fundraising, talking to people, answering calls, emails, having an open door policy with students, just being accessible.
Recruiting students.
Yeah, you're not I mean, the provost is doing more with the actual day-to-day whatever.
Yeah. We have an internal problem with the English department. The provost is handling that.
Yeah, the chancellor is there to be a very public figure and to handle those sorts of things.
Yes.
And to be a very calming figure, a very confident figure.
Yeah.
Somebody to look and go, hey, this university's in pretty dang good hands.
Yeah.
That guy gets it. He's accessible. You know, I mean, even little things like, you know, Kayat walking around campus every morning. Okay, see him here. Hey, here we are.
Sure. You know, a kid on a visit.
Yeah, you run into the chancellor. That's pretty good.
What's that 3-minute interaction like?
Good.
You know, is it good? Okay, well, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, when we visited Louisiana Tech, the chancellor came out and is the president, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
Came out and personally spoke to us.
Really?
Yeah. It made a difference.
Well, it's why it's something Boyce mentioned he would do, and I think it's a big thing. The chancellor himself going to high schools, going to some of these recruit fairs, spending some time.
That's what Keenum does.
Yeah. Get out. Hey, it's me. It's not somebody else. I'm here.
Yeah.
I run this place.
Because in the end, as much as people want to say it's not a business,
it's a recruiting
business. You are recruiting kids and their families. And if you lose enough of those recruiting battles, you start losing enough money and you lose future alums and all of those things. And it becomes problematic.
When'd you get the Blackhawks hat?
When
you went to the... Oh, really?
Yeah. One of our trips to Chicago. There was a Blackhawks store near our hotel, and I liked it.
Did you wear it to the Blues game that time?
No.
Because that was in St. Louis,
I was in St. Louis. No, I went...
You went for the home team?
I went neutral.
Did you?
Yeah.
It would have been really easy for you to jump on the Blackhawks bandwagon because they won those 3 titles or whatever it was over that 5, 6, 7 year period.
It's kind of my team. if I have a team. But I don't watch a lot of hockey. I like hockey, but I think if I lived in Chicago, hockey might kind of become my thing.
Oh, I could see that in a hurry. I mean, if I had to pick, if you lived in Chicago and go, hey, you get season tickets to something, you'd have to think about it.
Oh, I'd have to think about
if you had really good seats. Now, I can't be up in the top. I got to be good.
Yeah, we've gone a couple of times and had good seats. And it's pretty cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I've never been to. Where do they play?
The United Center.
They still play at the United Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, like, a mile down the road, there's a bunch of restaurants and stuff, and then a lot of those places, like, they'll shuttle you to the game, and then it's cool. It's fun.
Okay. Continue our conversation in 1 second. First, tell you about Tyson Drugs and G&M Pharmacy. G&M right there on South Lamar in Oxford. Go get a flu shot, because when you do that, it is a $0 copay with most insurance plans, and you don't have to wait in line for the overworked pharmacists at the chain drugstores. They get you in and out as quickly and painlessly as possible. Tyson Drugs in Squirt Holly Springs. G&M right there on South Lamar. 662-236-2222.
Blue Delta Jeans is rolling out a very special limited run edition of jeans made with fabric from the Cone Denim White Oak Mill in Greensboro, North Carolina. In 2017, after more than 110 years of continuous production, Cone Denim closed the doors of the White Oak Mill. At its peak, White Oak was the world's largest denim plant, employing more than 2,500 workers. To celebrate and preserve this iconic American-made textile brand, Blue Delta is announcing a limited run of 30 jeans made with fabric secured at the closing of the mill. The offer is available to Blue Delta customers with patterns on file. To learn more, please DM on Instagram or Twitter at Blue Delta Jeans or email info@bluedeltajeans.com. And as always, the Blue Delta team is on the road this week. Atlanta, Chattanooga, and Little Rock are the stops. Additionally, on Saturday, Blue Delta will also be set up with the Houston, Texas chapter of the Ole Miss Alumni Association at Bungalow Heights for their Ole Miss football watch party. Everyone who attends will have a chance to win a signed baseball from Ole Miss great David DeLucci, so come out for a great time, get measured for some Blue Delta jeans. We'll have picks up on Thursday. They're in the system now. They're sponsored by Southern Craft Stove and Tap, located off Highway 7 and Sisk Avenue. Southern Craft Stove and Tap places an emphasis on food and atmosphere, mixing the quality of fine dining with the come-as-you-are environment, featuring 30 craft beers and offering a high-quality selection of cuisine and libations. Southern Craft Stove and Tap has you covered for any occasion. Join them for lunch, dinner, Sunday brunch, or have your favorites catered out. Catering orders placed online currently receive $25 off any order totaling $100 or more. So avoid the chaos of parking on the square. Head over and experience carefully crafted dishes with your favorite Southern ingredients. Southern Craft Stove and Tap, Highway 7 and Sisk Avenue in Oxford. I mentioned a Mind on My Money podcast. Those are sponsored by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust is based in Madison, Mississippi. It's got clients in more than 20 states. It has advisors in multiple states as well. They also have the Pinnacle Trust 401k advisory services. And with that, if your 401k plan is not operating the way that you want it to, not performing the way that you want it to, get in touch with them. They'll conduct a complimentary, no-obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the Oxford Exxon Podcast. You get 10% off your first year's fees. It's pintrust.com, PINN trust.com. And working on the mailbag, as Chase mentioned, I'll be soliciting some questions on Twitter here shortly. That is brought to you by the Westin Jackson, which is home to Soul Spa. It's also home to Estelle Wine Bar and Bistro. The Westin Jackson in downtown Jackson's a Marriott property. Highly recommend it if you are passing through Jackson, if you are doing business in Jackson, if you're just looking for a weekend to take the edge off and relax. Highly recommend the Westin Jackson in downtown Jackson.
Podcast also brought to you by Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com. Go to the events page. See everything going on in town this week. Family Fall Festival today, 5:30. The Bolt parking lot over off West Jackson. Halloween cookie decorating at the Graduate tonight. You've got a Thacker Mountain Radio Hour tomorrow Thursday, Halloween night, 6 to 7:30 at Off Square Books, and a showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Powerhouse. Hopefully we don't get Halloween completely rained out, but we'll see. The forecast not looking great at the moment. But anyway, bookmark it. See everything going on in town every single week with visitoxfordms.com. /events. So let's see. I had something for right after the break. Oh, since they suck, are you kind of going back to no NFL team, or are you still just kind of like whatever? Because I mean, there's no way when you don't have heartstrings attached to it that you're actually as engaged as you were last year when they were winning.
No, not at all.
I mean, you're not really in the mood for a rebuild right now in year 2 of your lifelong fandom.
No, I'm doing a rebuild in basketball. That's one rebuild is plenty.
And that is a rebuild.
Total rebuild. That was interesting last night. So Carson and I watched. To answer your question, I don't know. There's a rumor that the Bears are going to trade for C.J. Beathard.
Oh.
Adam Schefter on the rumor.
Okay.
C.J. Beathard. I mean, look, they're out. What I would like to see the Bears do is this. I would like to see the Bears take the handcuffs off Mitch Trubisky. Just hear me out. And go, hey, look, dude, here's the deal. We're going to call a game. You're going to quarterback a game.
Okay.
And at the end of the season, you're either going to have an A or an F. And whichever it is, cool. You're either going to know that he can be an NFL quarterback or you're going to know that he can't. Stop this. Well,
let's go conservative
let's just see if we can nuance him down the field. Nope. Let's find out. Can you do this or not? And if the answer's no,
okay,
awesome.
We'll go find somebody else.
We're going to go out on a date with you, and it's either going to work out or it's not. And if it doesn't, there won't be a second date, and we'll move on. Cool. No harm, no foul. It's our evaluation mistake. We'll pay you the money that you're due, but we're moving on.
It's amazing how fast the star fell for them. To Bill Barnwell's credit, he talked about close wins and things last year that kind of went their way.
Turnovers and
yeah.
Well, Sunday was
the regress quarterback play.
Sunday was a perfect example. Their defense created opportunities one after the other. They should have easily won the game. They had 5 red zone opportunities in the first half. Came away with 6 points. I mean, that doesn't work.
And just in a good division in a bear of a conference right now.
Yeah.
Where one little slip and you fall out of the whole deal. Sure.
So they've got to figure it out because they got to figure. Look, we talk about this all. It's quarterback league. New quarterback. But I was saying about last night was Rockets played the Thunder in Houston.
Okay.
So Carson came up. He and I were watching. He got back from soccer, and we were watching, and it was fun watching him progress through the game emotionally. So the Thunder have been a contender for 10 straight years.
Yeah.
And so you're not used to being cool with them losing. And there's the Westbrook factor. And so Carson, throughout most of the game, is kind of cheering for both teams, and he's happy for Russ. And in about the fourth quarter,
had to pick a side.
Had to pick a side, and he went OKC.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah. The love affair with Russ, it's there, and it will always be there. And after the game, they showed Russell visiting with his ex-teammates and stuff, and I think that pulled at his heartstrings a little bit.
At the end of the day,
he's all in now on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, big time. Darius Baisley, he's in on those dudes. He wants to go up to the Ole Miss-Memphis game because he wants to see James Wiseman, because he wants to see if the Thunder can.
Wiseman didn't play again last night, right?
No, got a little story.
What's up?
Got a little something going on. Anyway, he wants to see that. It was just kind of funny to watch him. By the end, it's good that we lost, right? I mean, yeah, they probably need to lose a lot. They got lots of picks. Need to lose games.
Seriously, what do you think it is? What do you think it is with Wiseman?
I agree with you, by the way, Leif. I like the new unis. They've kind of tweaked them and they're good. The orange suit on Sunday was
awful,
just scorching.
That was good.
That was great.
Okay.
The story is that he's got an injury,
but we don't know what said injury is.
People are very skeptical about this injury.
We got a little glimpse of this with Michael Porter back in the day.
Yeah. There are some rumors, to this point unfounded, unsupported. I'll just say this. There are going to be players who ultimately decide, as long as this NBA 1 year thing is in play, you know what I'm going to do with that 1 year? I'm going to go to Australia or New Zealand or whatever, and I'm going to make some money. Develop my game. Not at the
I'm
full
surprised
school.
that doesn't happen more, frankly.
Yeah. Play against men.
Sure.
It's worked for a few people. I'm not saying Wiseman's that guy, but something's up.
Penny, look, he's gonna have a good team on the floor. They're gonna recruit like gangbusters until the bomb falls on them at some point. It will.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah.
They're not Duke. They're not Kentucky. Bomb will fall on them at some point.
Bomb's going to fall, and he's made a lot of enemies.
But he's also going to have to manage people. And it's what Cal doesn't get enough credit for, is managing that many 5 stars, those many Now, look, any coach would love that problem. We're talking about some first world high-class problems. I'm not 100% sure Penny is built for this, on handling some of this stuff that goes along with it. I mean, it could,
Well, here's all you have to know.
turn quickly.
He's already got, like, media enemies in a city where the media just
Fawns over him,
I was
to be really nice.
trying to come up with a
Yeah.
different way to say what I wanted to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
but fawn's good enough.
It moved toward the connotation you were looking for.
Yeah. Media caresses you
Yes.
delicately,
Yes.
and he's upset at some media people. Come on.
Is he going to be the guest picker on Saturday? You call Timberlake and see if you can get him.
You call Timberlake and you beg,
Yeah.
because that's easy.
Yeah.
I see people talk about like the 3-6 Mafia and all that. I don't know that has the mass appeal.
No, they're going to go mass appeal, I would assume.
Here's my question.
Sure.
Does anybody watch that show anymore?
I guess.
It used to be the craze. I haven't watched it in years.
You and I are not good for that, though. We've got stuff going on. We're working.
Yeah.
Like, there's something that day that's usually whatever. We are not. We're good examples of a lot. That's not one of them.
But for example, if I'm on my Peloton on a Saturday morning,
That's not what you're turning on.
I'm turning on at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to watch English Premier League before I watch that. Seriously. And I'll turn to football at 11. Like the Big Ten game of the week. Bring it to me at 11 o'clock. But I'm not, 10 o'clock, I'm not watching that stuff. Someone says Jerry Lawler. Maybe.
Yeah.
If I'm Norvell, I don't want it to be Penny Hardaway.
You're right. Yeah.
I've been here a long time.
I got this day.
I've built this thing.
Tell him to stay over at the Forum.
Yeah. My day.
I get the score, but hey. No, you do something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got people.
A little bit of Ole Miss basketball news that I thought was interesting yesterday. Blake Kinston's going back to the doctor or whatever on Friday. It's the last hurdle, and then I think they're going to clear him for contact. And Kermit was
What kind of shape's he in?
said he'd gained a little weight, that he'd gotten it off. He's doing everything but the contact. So he looks great. He said if you went out there and watched him, you'd never know something was up. So they're going to clear him for contact, and
It's a help.
whew,
I mean, it was the only piece of information that actually came out of the Texas side of that scrimmage story. And again, it's one sentence in a nothing report. Said that Texas had a really hard time on the glass against Ole Miss on Saturday.
yeah.
I don't know.
Kermit was just not going there.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. I'm just telling you. And Texas is a good team. They're
Well,
a top 40 team.
Kermit's also at the stage of the season where I'm pushing my kids. I'm not going to praise them yet.
Yeah.
We're not in the praise stage of the season. We're in the let's get better stage of the season.
Yeah.
They watched film early Monday morning, and hey, see this? That's what I've been telling you about.
What are the critical non-cons? It's
John Morant, by the way, Zach, would be a great idea.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
John Morant would be good.
Going to be a star.
That's good. Yeah, I like that. They need to beat Butler, right? Isn't that the one early that feels like they kind of got to get from a resume standpoint? Because I don't know what. I mean, there's no guarantee Butler's great.
No,
they had a rough year last year.
Need to beat Butler at home. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I mean, they could lose at Memphis and it's fine.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
They could lose one of the games in New York and it'd be fine.
Yeah,
They got to win games.
who's in New York?
Syracuse, Oklahoma State, and Penn State.
Okay,
3 solid teams.
Penn State's decent. I thought they kind of sucked.
They're Big Ten though, so they're
The net will be something.
Yeah, the net will be fine.
Okay.
And it'll be a neutral site win.
We mentioned a little NFL. We do this every week, so I'll do it right now. If the playoffs started today, and we are halfway through the season, most of the teams have played 8 games to this point.
Yeah.
Saints are on their bye week this week. Some other teams on their bye week this week as well. In the AFC, the New England Patriots, obviously at 8-0, would have the number 1 seed. I know we're all shocked by that. They would get a bye. The Indianapolis Colts would be the number 2 seed in the AFC if it started today. They pull one out against the Broncos on Sunday. Then
Jacoby
in your
Brissett.
do what?
Jacoby Brissett.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in your first round games, you would get the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Houston Texans,
Okay.
and you would get the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
That would be your first round matchups.
I'd watch that one.
The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans are a game out of the playoffs as of right now.
The Titans are the most boring team in the history of boring teams.
They're just nondescript.
They come on my television and I just look at it and go, what else is on?
They're not bad. They just
No, they're just boring.
Yeah. There's nothing that makes me go, yeah, that's kind of interesting to watch at all. And I know a couple of Titans fans when I say this, but
They're the frozen hamburger patty that you just put on the skillet and warm it up. It's food.
It's not seasoned at all.
No. It's so bland. But it's food.
That's kind of it. The Steelers are another half game out if you care, and then after that, nobody has a shot. There's no way the Raiders and the Chargers and some of that stuff. So, all right, NFC.
Here's where it gets good.
This one is I'd like to. I mean, the Patriots scare me, but otherwise, I'd really like to jump into the other conference. I'd be real happy about that.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, your buys as of right now. San Francisco 49ers are 7-0. They would be the number 1 seed. The Saints would be the number 2 seed because they get a tiebreaker win over Green Bay based on best win percentage in conference games to this point.
Okay.
So as of right now, the Saints are the 2. And then your first round games would be the Packers hosting the Vikings and the Cowboys hosting the Seahawks. The LA Rams are a half game back.
Wow.
Yes. Carolina Panthers a game back, and then the Lions are sort of just lingering around.
Big game for the Saints this weekend next weekend with the Niners coming to town. Is
Atlanta's
it next
week.
When do the Niners come in?
It's a couple weeks away still.
Okay.
Oh, that one matters all of a sudden. And look, the Niners are good. DJ Jones has played pretty well, by the way. Just speaking of Ole Miss people.
Yeah.
I also look at the schedule a little bit, and look, the Rams is a good win. That's the Saints' 1 loss. They beat them 20-7. Good win. Here's their schedule, though, to this point. Bucks, Bengals, Steelers, Browns, Rams, Redskins, Panthers.
Yeah.
Hadn't played an elite team yet.
Well, in many ways, that's what New England's done. They haven't played anybody yet.
They have now they have a stretch here. The 49ers are at a disadvantage in this little group, even though they have a game lead right now. Because they've still got to play Seattle. They play in a couple weeks. We'll see. Now, in their credit, they bombed Carolina on Sunday.
They did.
51-13.
Is the game in Seattle?
No, it's in San Fran.
Well, that's a big difference maker.
Because there's no noise.
You can't hear anything in Seattle. It's so loud.
But then they've got a 3-week stretch here. Actually, let's do this. They've got the rest of the season. They just are close.
Okay.
They're going to have a hell of a record when they beat Arizona at home.
Yeah.
But then after that, their last 6 games.
Okay.
Green Bay.
Okay.
Baltimore. New Orleans.
Where are these games? Give me some ats.
All right. It is Green Bay at home.
Okay.
At Baltimore.
Okay. It's difficult.
At New Orleans.
Difficult.
Falcons.
Easy.
Rams.
Difficult.
At Seahawks.
Impossible. Can't hear.
That's a tough close.
It's very tough.
That's a more difficult close than the Saints.
If they get the one, they will have earned it.
Oh, I mean,
which is typically how that works in that league.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, and you're benefiting from your scheduling a little bit, but you're in potentially the toughest division in football, with Rams and Seahawks there with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, December 8th is the Saints 49ers. December the 8th.
That'd be a hard ticket.
The Saints close is.
I wonder who the Pelicans play that weekend.
Falcons at home next, at Bucks, Panthers, at Falcons, 49ers, Colts, Titans, Panthers. It's an easier road than the 49ers.
For sure.
It is. Colts are good, but it's in New Orleans. 49ers are good, it's in New Orleans.
New Orleans plays Nashville. I mean, Tennessee, where's that game?
They play in Nashville.
In Nashville. What
Yeah.
day?
3 days before Christmas, 12/22.
Oh. That might be worth doing.
Your mind getting up a little bit?
Carson would like to go to a game. We had talked about going to Bears-Chiefs, but now that the Bears suck, he's like,
no longer interested in that.
Let's not do that.
So he was pretty fickle on his fandom.
He's stretched pretty thin by the time you do Cubs, and he genuinely, I mean, I joke around about EPL. He genuinely gets into it. I mean, he really watches Chelsea. Gets mad when they lose, all that stuff.
We'll continue on in a second. First podcast brought to you by Mastercuts Lawn and Landscape, premium lawn care throughout northern Mississippi. But did you know they offer a lot more? Mastercuts build your custom playgrounds, retaining walls, pool decks, outdoor living spaces with paper patios, forestry mulching, and more. Starting at just $3,000 for those paper patios, and getting your dream backyard easier than you think. Let's go mastercuts.com for a free quote, or the same free quote at 662-607-7773. Again, that's gomastercuts.com.
The podcast also brought to you by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. I was looking to see if something had arrived in my mailbox, and I don't think it has. So, oh well. What you do with John is what I'm doing with John right now, which is you call, you give him. I called him and I said, so here's what we're kind of thinking about doing. Here's what the kids kind of want to do. I'm gonna give you some ideas, some options. Some ideas. I'm gonna give you a budget. He's gonna put together some options. He was talking to one other person, and then he was going to bring me some stuff. This is kind of what he does. It's a really good way to do it. It's stress-free. You're not spending days upon days upon days of your own time searching and looking and hoping that you're making a good plan. You're putting it in the hands of someone who is going to make a really good plan, make it a vacation that you'll never forget. So what you do is you do exactly what I did. You call John at 901-494-3387, or you send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. Give him parameters, give him a budget. He gives you options, and you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. First-time clients will save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles, great lease deals as well. Go in, tell Gene and Sandy that you heard about Grenada Nissan on the podcast. You'll get Rebel savings on top of the already great deals at Grenada Nissan. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And we're brought to you by Harry Alexander. Harry is an Oxford-based RE/MAX Legacy Realty agent. He's a big part of Savannah Square. It's a new 9-acre development, 0.7 of a mile from the Oxford downtown square, conveniently located east of North Lamar, just a short stroll from the Midtown Shopping Center. Savannah Square has a number of houses that are in different stages of development. They've got the model home at 215 William Street. If you're coming up for basketball, for one of the 2 football games that are remaining, get in touch with Harry. He'll give you a tour. He'll show you around. You can also see more at SavannahSquareOxford.com. Harry's number, if you want to call or text him, 662-801-5621. And we're brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB also has a commercial checking account, now paying 1% interest as long as you keep $10,000 in the account. It comes with fully interactive online banking. They'll set up any local business to deposit checks from their office and not have to worry about coming to the bank daily to deposit those checks. More than likely, any business owner at another bank is now paying a monthly fee for their account, most assuredly not making 1% on the money. To learn more about OUB, check out liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234 888-888-6668. OUB is FDIC insured.
So just a little quick update here. It came across my email. The Ole Miss men's golf team yesterday shoots their second lowest round in program history, 18 under as a team. They're out in Hawaii this week, and Charlie Miller, the solo leader, with a 7 under 65 yesterday as well out in Hawaii. So just a little note there. Ole Miss playing quite well individually. They are first, fourth, and seventh for the 4 scores that count. Typically, that puts you in the lead.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah. 18 under for them. Second place is number 32, East Tennessee State, at 12 under. Cal State Fullerton, Nevada, Louisville, other people behind them. So, anyway.
Our friend Zach Berry says, is Chase Young the number 1 overall pick now? No, he's not the overall number 1 pick. I'll tell you what he is, though.
Because it's a quarterback league, and they're going to somebody's take quarterback.
I'll tell you what he is, though. He's a big game or two away from having a real shot at this Heisman.
I saw The Athletic did their little Heisman poll yesterday, and he was starting to get first place votes yesterday in their poll.
Because
Burrow was still the favorite.
The Southern voters, Burrow's got to do this Alabama thing, and Tua could get involved in that at that point. I tell you what, Young dominated Wisconsin in a way that was, whoa. I hadn't seen a defensive end dominate a game like that in a long time.
He's got your vote over there. You're starting to move a little bit.
I would vote for Burrow today, but Young has my attention.
You'll watch him more.
Yeah.
You're more interested.
Well, you know me. I like the Big Ten.
I'm aware.
I like some Big Ten. Carson informed me that he plans to attend a Big Ten school.
Oh, really?
That's what he said.
Well, it used to be Northwestern.
Yeah. We're going to have to rob a bank.
To get real smart.
Yeah.
Real smart.
OUB is going to have to do more than just be a sponsor. They're going to have to, say, hey, Neal,
here's the vault.
Listen, here's the vault, and we're turning our,
I can't see him at, like, Wisconsin, though, or
no
Illinois.
Illinois would not be that far from home, really. It's 7 hours.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Oh, if
I had to go to a Big Ten school.
Because you know what he wants to do right now, right?
No. He's
really good in math and science and stuff. He's like fascinated with analytics and some of the biomechanical stuff.
Okay.
He wants to do that and get into like the business side of sports. I don't know who has like a great sports business school. I don't know. I mean, obviously I'd be able to help him with an internship or something, but he'd have to go to a school that produces those sort of grads. Not an Ivy League, I'm guessing.
Again, better rob a bank.
Yeah. How much can you get for plasma? How's that work?
And how often?
Yeah.
How much do you really need?
It's too late for me to like give anything else, any other bodily fluid.
I thought about that a second ago, and I stopped. I decided not to play that game.
That's the last thing this world needs is a lot of little Neals running around.
The Dolphins were up 14-0 last night. Everybody,
they took care of that quickly.
You see where the guy had bet $100,000 on the Steelers to win $11,000.
Oh gosh!
And yeah, it worked out, but down 14-0. I mean, the Dolphins aren't going to win. They're going to make sure they tank. I mean, I think it's almost a directive from up top at this point.
Yeah, sure.
To the staff, hey,
don't win a game.
Yeah, don't screw around and lose this pick.
Well, in a draft where I think there are potentially 2 franchise quarterbacks,
Tua
and Burrow. I love Burrow,
but you can get Burrow a little later, can't you?
I don't know. And I'll tell you who else I like, and I know the knock on him is he's not all football all the time. I like Herbert.
Do you really?
I do.
He makes me nervous.
Why? I tell you, when he won me over, it was that game against Washington. I sat in here and watched all of it. Because whatever the SEC 2:30 game that day was a snoozer.
It was State and somebody.
Oh, State and LSU.
Yeah.
And it was just bleh. And I flipped to that, and the Easton Herbert show was good, and Herbert was really good.
Yeah, actually, I'm wrong if CBS is right. CBS Sports with a mock draft 1 day ago.
Okay.
Joe Burrow, number 1 to the Bengals.
I can see it.
Number 1.
I can see it. He's tough as nails, man. I mean, you watch some of the hits he takes against Auburn. His teammates respect him. I mean, the improvement he's made from year 1 to year 2 in this league is you have to credit it. He's a charismatic guy. His teammates love him. He's a big dude.
Tua at 2.
Here's the thing that would scare me about Tua is he's just not very big. Got a rocket for an arm, but
6'1", 218.
I just
Burrow 6'4", 216.
I like having some height.
Yeah, but Drew Brees.
Yeah, I know.
Brees has been the worst thing to ever happen to quarterback evaluations.
Well, it's because everybody's, he's short like Brees. Okay, well, is he historically accurate like Brees?
And have the ability to throw off his tiptoes the way Brees does
and
every
Brees
time.
also has so much of the mental stuff that we can't measure. He's very bright. He's a born leader. He's very charismatic. He's so competitive, but
he also moves around in the pocket so well to create his own lanes.
But he's competitive right to the breaking point
of being a problem,
and not over the top. Great teammate, holds people accountable, all of that stuff. Drew Brees is special. You don't go get. There's not Drew Brees everywhere.
Andrew Thomas, an offensive lineman from Georgia, number 3 overall right now.
Scott, you're right about Trubisky, but here's the thing. The Bears made a mistake. They overthought it. They did so much of their stuff in the offseason. They did so much of their stuff with his analytics. He's apparently a really bright guy. All that stuff. They ignored his college performance to a degree.
They did.
And they were afraid that Mahomes was a system quarterback. In fairness to them, they were not alone. There's a lot of revisionist history on the Mahomes thing because he's a freaking stud. But there were a lot of people that thought he's a system guy. And then I don't know what they didn't see in Deshaun Watson. To me, as a Bears guy, if you will, them skipping Deshaun Watson for Trubisky is more egregious than skipping Mahomes for Trubisky. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I mean, Mahomes clearly of the 3 is the best quarterback, but they were not alone in that evaluation. The Deshaun Watson thing is head scratching.
I mean, it's a lot like the Giants disregarded a lot of Daniel Jones' college career and said, no, it's our guy.
Yeah, and here he is turning it over left and right.
Ohio State with back-to-back top 5 picks. Jeff Okudah, the cornerback, 4. Chase Young, 5. Is the edge rusher going to the New York Jets as of right now.
Ooh. He's a good player.
If I'm the Falcons, I'm scared to death. I'm taking the corner instead of Chase Young right there.
Yeah. I gotta take.
I better think that corner is the next Darrelle Revis or something.
So that was Burrow 1, Tua 2,
Andrew Thomas, the lineman, 3.
Okay.
And then Ohio State 4, 5. Jerry Jeudy 6 to the Giants.
Yeah.
South Carolina defensive lineman Javon Kinlaw 7 to the Broncos.
Okay.
Offensive lineman from Iowa 8 to the Browns. Justin Herbert 9 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Would be giving up on Jameis at this point.
It's time.
Yeah, would be giving up on Jameis at this point. The Dolphins have another pick at 10 and have them taking a Houston offensive lineman, Josh Jones.
Okay.
He's a tackle, I guess. Number 11 to the San Diego Chargers, Jacob Eason.
Yeah, he's moved up.
You like that? You okay with that? Would you want Eason to be your guy?
Oh, I can see it, yeah.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Clemson safety at 12. Henry Ruggs the 3rd. Alabama wide receiver again at 13.
Yeah.
Derek Brown, Auburn, 14 to the Arizona Cardinals.
Boy, he made money Saturday.
I would be perfectly fine with him at 14.
LSU could not block him.
Yeah.
LSU couldn't block him.
Another guy you love, the safety, LSU at 15, Grant Delpit.
Give me give me him and inject it just straight in. I love watching him play.
At 15, Delpit, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'll put him in my defense.
Seriously, when LSU plays Ole Miss, I'm going early.
You just want to watch Grant Delpit?
I'm going over. No, I'm just going to go down and watch them warm up.
That's what Nutt and
Number
Freeze
one, the
always...
LSU uniform just does things for me. And I'm a Louisiana guy, but I never even considered LSU. I've never cheered for LSU in my life. But that uniform does it. You got to admit it's a great uniform.
It is a great
uniform.
The year that Ole Miss just beat the heck out of them, that was some of the best suit stuff on the field you've ever seen when LSU had the all whites.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fournette in the all whites looks as good as any human in a uniform ever.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was. Now they sucked that night, but the uniforms were good. It was a win.
They won the pregame.
Well, I remember it was Nutt. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember if it was Nutt or Freeze. I always talked about no matter how good they are, LSU looks better getting off the bus than any team in the country every year.
They win every pregame they ever play because their uniform is just spectacular.
And obviously they're good. I mean,
and they always have athletic-looking guys. Yeah.
You know, I don't know, whatever. But Trevon Diggs, corner, Alabama, 16 to the Jaguars. T. Higgins, our former buddy, the Clemson wide receiver, 17 to the Titans. LSU, Christian Fulton, the corner, 18 to the Detroit Lions.
Good player. Really good player.
I'm just kind of scrolling now at this point for anybody who C.J. Henderson, a corner from Florida, 23 to the Chiefs.
Is Stingley at LSU? He's a sophomore or a freshman?
He's not on the list.
That dude. Oof.
Had the Saints taking a linebacker, Evan Weaver, the Cal linebacker that we saw a few weeks ago.
He's a good player.
Because they got him picking at 30. Usually you're CBS at this moment. Well, I guess it's judged by record. San Francisco with the 31st pick, New England with the 32nd pick. Ashton Davis, the California safety at 31 of the 49ers. So
he's a good
Cal
player.
players going 2 in a row there.
I got to find out what Stingley is.
That's your mock draft.
Is it Derek Stingley? Yeah, Derek Stingley, LSU. He is is that kid a freshman? Yeah. Oh, my God.
So he'll make some money in a couple years.
He's related to Darryl Stingley.
How?
So I'm looking to see. No, it's 6'1", 190. His grandfather is the late Darryl Stingley.
Okay. Got about 1,000 words of fall baseball content on the site. A lot of notes and stuff up top on the message board. It's pinned there for subscribers. Stuff on Gunnar Hoagland, stuff on Derek Diamond, Wes Burton, just off the top of my head. Peyton Shekinay, freshman, kind of really impressed so far. A lot of different guys there, so you can find that at rebelgrove.com.
So are they going to Omaha or not? I mean, I don't know
that was a good tone yesterday. It was like, oh, yeah, it's great. Now how are they going to screw it up? It's like, okay, well, I don't know. I tell you what, I will give this one away. You can read about this and more. Derek Diamond, the kid that we've talked about for a while from LA, from the California.
Dustin's kid,
yeah. Neil's nephew. He, as I said, when you send Christmas cards out, send one to the Stanford admissions department.
No
because
doubt.
he was headed to Stanford, and they called him and said, yeah, you're not in. And if I'm the baseball coach, I hand him my resignation, and I move on with my day, and I go somewhere else and go, okay, come on. We're a private school, and Vanderbilt's doing all that crap over there, and we're doing this? Whoa.
That's right. I don't know if baseball coaches have agents, but that's where you call your agent or your person
and go, get me out of here. I'll go anywhere.
Yeah,
I'm done.
It's expensive as hell here, and then I'm not. Yeah, no, done.
So Diamond, he's came in as a two-way player. He's more of a pitcher than a hitter at this point. And 2 weeks ago, he got kind of a virus or something. I don't know what it was. He lost some weight. And during his inter-squad, fastball velocity was down 87, 89, something like that, instead of in the low 90s or whatever he pitches at. And I thought it was a better sign for him than anything else because he pitched through it. He pitched 3 innings, maybe up a run or two. but showed a lot of pitchability, showed a way to kind of get by with the sickness without your best stuff. And for a guy with that much arm talent, that's a big sign because it means he's not a thrower as a newcomer, as a freshman. This past weekend, his average fastball was back up to 89 point something. So it's getting back to where it was. But I think you're getting a pitchability guy as a freshman that probably is going to be your number 3 starter. I think they're going to go sophomore, freshman with their rotation.
So McKazy and
Hoagland and Diamond. Hoagland has been better. Mentally, he's been better. I think he just had one of those freshman seasons where it's a transition and it's tough sometimes, especially when you come in with that type of regard and everything on your shoulders. And frankly, it was probably a little bit of a tough pill for him that Nikhazy emerged into what he emerged into, and just a lot going on there. If you're Gunner,
Mike
probably
kept kind of challenging him.
Yeah, and he never.
And sometimes it takes a year to grow into that.
Gunner
challenge.
didn't handle that well.
Well, we talked to Luis Rodriguez yesterday about the growth from freshman year to sophomore year. That freshman year you come in and you don't realize how hard it's going to be. And now you've got this guy who's yelling at you all the damn time. And you're getting your ass beat by Terrence Davis every day in practice. And then you sit on the bench and you play 6 minutes. And the next day in film you get yelled at as if you played 70 minutes. And it just kind of beats you down. And then there's a moment where you stop playing the role of feeling sorry for yourself. And you think, okay, they're yelling at me because I've noticed that they're not yelling at the little dude at the end of the bench. They're yelling at me because they think I can play here. And I think I can play here. And the guy that was kicking my ass is now getting minutes in the NBA. So let's go. And that's what he's done, and he's changed his body a little bit. And it is the part of the process that I think we in the media, I think fans, I think everybody, even coaches to some degree, forget sometimes, is that when you're playing freshmen, I don't care what sport, volleyball, soccer, there's an adjustment to the college level. There is a different deal, and some kids make the adjustment seamlessly because they're wired like Doug Nikhazy. But more kids are not wired like him. They're wired normally, and it takes them a little while.
Well, and because two of the guys that Ole Miss need something out of this season, Connor Walsh, the freshman that I love. I mean, from an athletic ability standpoint, I'm not giving up on him. I think he's a star eventually. And then Cale Baker, who a lot of people like, the JUCO kid that basically won the Triple Crown in junior college baseball last year.
Right.
Swimming right now, having a hard time. But from an offensive standpoint, there's two elements here. And somebody pointed this out on the message board, and they're exactly right. It's the first time these kids are seeing 3-pitch mixes.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff. And even if you can hit it, and even if you have the talent, there's a mental adjustment where you get in the box and go, oh, my God, that's not what I've seen. That's not what I've consistently seen. When your inter-squad's out there and it's Nikhazy and Hoagland and Austin Miller and these guys throwing real shit at you.
Guys throwing from the same release point, and the ball's doing different things.
Yeah,
and people say, what does swimming mean? Well, it means that you're up there guessing at the plate. And now you're questioning, can I do this? Am I any good? I'm looking fastball, and then they throw something else. Or I start guessing on the curveball, and now he throws meat right down the middle, and it just blows right by me, and I'm thinking I'm done. And
at some point, you got to take a step back and reset and go, okay, let's figure this out. And it takes a little bit. Like I said, there's too much emphasis on stats in fall baseball. They don't mean crap. It's spring training. They're trying to get kids acclimated. They're trying to teach bunt defenses. I couldn't care less what a kid's stats are in fall baseball. Drew Pomeranz sucked his first fall. It turned out all right. I mean, it is what it is. So I don't care about that. Plus, also, as I pointed out yesterday, it's like this in every sport. Baseball's just more public. There's games. There's crowds for their practices. I mean, the first 2 weeks of fall football camp, we're not criticizing the freshman offensive lineman in a closed practice. He's not out there having to block defensive ends in front of people.
Right.
It's the same in every sport.
Of course.
But baseball's a little more one-on-one and a little more mental.
It's a lot more mental.
And so those newcomers, those kids, it takes a minute. It's
the one thing that I say about the basketball team when everybody goes, hey, man, you think the Sweet 16 team? I think they have Sweet 16 talent. But they're going to be counting on a lot of young dudes, especially until Henson comes back. Mm-hmm. Franco Miller, this is his first year to play. I know he sat last year, but it's his first year to play. It's couple of JUCO kids. sometimes that transition is seamless, and sometimes it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy Hunter, it's his freshman year. Now he's really talented.
Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's not.
He looks like an NBA player, but he's a freshman. And at some point in the season, he's going to go up against a 21-year-old
NBA player who's not a freshman.
Who's going to bang him around.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to respond from that. And, you know, there's going to be adversity. And I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to win a lot of games. I think they're a tournament team. But and then this league this year it's a booger bear. And you're going to have some L's, and you're going to have some L's that get strung together, and there's going to be some tense moments.
It's the advice, guys. Relax.
Well,
10-8 in the SEC is an accomplishment.
Well, here's the other thing. Last year, for most of the season, Ole Miss snuck up on people.
Yeah.
Like, I remember they went to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt thought that was a W. Okay?
Yeah.
Auburn came to Oxford thinking, we got this. That Ole Miss snuck up on them. And then they got them the second time. My point is not to belittle anything that they did last year. But now they've got a target on their back. Be a little different deal. There will be no, hey, Ole Miss coming in.
Bruce Girl goes, hey, tournament team, guys. We got to go.
Yeah, this is not going to be that deal where they roll into Knoxville and the kids think, we got this.
Yeah.
No problem. It's just Ole Miss, man. We show up, we'll get it. No, you got to play. It's going to be a fun I wrote about this in 10 Thoughts a little bit. This football thing, we started with this a little bit. I guess we'll kind of finish here. I'm excited to cover basketball because I'm covering basketball. I don't have to write any program big picture stuff the whole year.
You're just covering games.
I mean, I'll probably cover some tournament bubble stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But
that's different, though. That's
seeding. You know, hey, they're playing for seeding. This game's critical for seeding, blah, blah, blah. This cover, it's the ironic thing. The people inside programs think you guys get off on writing this big picture stuff. No, we hate it. It's exhausting. What happens if wears you out. Because, number one, I don't know. But number two, I don't like writing about people losing their jobs. That's no fun. People think that's fun. And there are media who do get off on it. Not me.
It was why not this offseason as much, even though this one might be a little more so. Last offseason, the entire offseason, I'm just dreading baseball season going, they lose to Tennessee Tech, and now the whole year we're going to be doing this. Every time there's a weekend, we're going to be doing this. And
again, if you look at what you just said, if you're right, if they go sophomore, freshman, the way that I understand it works, that means the next year it's junior, sophomore with dudes who can go.
Cooking with gas all of a sudden.
And you've got a hell of a team.
No, they're better in 21 than 20. This is the worst team on the paper. I mean, hell, I don't know what they're going to finish.
Right.
Out of this 4-year period from 18, 19, 20, 21.
This
is the worst. Because it's when your best class is freshman again. Because not to do this, and I mean, we're way late in the show to start this conversation. The way Ole Miss's scholarship structure works, they can be dang good in a recruiting class 1 out of 3 years. Yeah. And then you try to manage it because you've got all your money tied up in that class. So they had a number 1 class in 16. They got the number 2 class in 19. Well, they're freshmen, so we'll see what happens. Now, they got not lucky, but they did well because you've got Nikhazy and Hoagland and some of these guys in that next class, and then you still got Keenan hanging around. You got some stuff.
And you potentially got 2 free ones in
Ely and Plumlee, who
yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about that. We'll do it 1 second. First, about community mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. So you're getting local underwriting and understands your market, a leader in condo financing, the float down option, and with the rates as low as it's been in about 2 years. Good time to talk to Jason, 662-234-2704 or JLOWE@communitymtg.com.
Podcast also brought to you in part by the Refrigeration Company, TRC owned and operated by Jeremy Wattler. He's been in the refrigeration field for more than 20 years, including 5 as a national service manager at TRC. They understand that great service means being responsive. They're highly trained, responsible, and dedicated staff available 24/7 to ensure your complete satisfaction. They specialize in ammonia refrigeration but work on any other HFC, HCFC, or CO2 systems. They're building winning relationships with customers in baking, cold storage warehouses, ice production facilities, and facilities serving dairy processing, food processing, poultry processing, and catfish processing. TRC is based in Spanish Fort, Alabama, But they're licensed in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and South Carolina as well. They can handle all of your company's refrigeration needs, including installation, fabrication, service, compressor rebuilds, ammonia detection, calibration, vibration, analysis, and more. To learn more, call Jeremy Watler, 251-348-8533, or email him at jeremy@therefridgeco.com. You can also follow them on Facebook or at their website, therefridgeco.com. Podcast also brought to you by Elite Dental Care with offices throughout West Tennessee and Germantown, Jackson, and Trenton. They have 5 doctors with more than 75 years of combined experience, and with their different areas of expertise, the doctors at Elite Dental Care offer convenience along with the latest in technology. Elite Dental Care focuses on staying up to date on all the latest technology, including intraoral cameras, digital x-rays and impressions, 3D x-rays, and more. They offer both conscious sedation and IV sedation for patients that are anxious or scared, or for those that might not be fearful but just have a lot of work to do and can't afford to take time off for multiple visits. So if you're looking for a dentist in West Tennessee or the Memphis area, call Dr. Mark Harper, Dr. Clint Buchanan, and Dr. Mike Farah at Elite Dental Care. It's elitedentalcare.com. And if you're in the Jackson area and you're passing through, stop by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel shop now with 2 locations in the Jackson area, in Ridgeland next to Fleet Feet, and the new location in Flowood next to Half Shell. And if you don't live in Jackson, it's not a problem. Visit them online, collegecornerstore.com, plus Facebook and Instagram. Don't waste your game day in Oxford stuck in traffic and long lines to get your gear. Stop by before you go, and their staff will have you in and out and on your way. They've got you covered for all your tailgate and home gate needs. College Corner has the largest selection of Rebel gear in the central Mississippi area. Throughout the month of October, which is coming to a close here, mention Rebel Grove at checkout. Receive 15% off your entire purchase. You can also use it online. Just put Rebel Grove in the coupon tab at checkout to get the same discount.
Ask if we can get Johnny Bench and Dustin Diamond on the show soon. I mean, Neil has talked to Dustin before, so maybe he can put a call in, see what we can get accomplished here on the Potato Log podcast. But yeah, no, look, I wrote about this too. You mentioned the two football players. The outfield's kind of a crapshoot right now. Just being honest, I don't know who's out there. I think they're going to convert at least one infielder. Something Ole Miss does pretty effectively for the most part, and I think it's one of the areas that the scholarship thing does rear its head, is that true elite outfielders are in such demand that's just a really hard pull. I think a lot of times you got to almost kind of do the old school football recruiting thing from the 50s and 60s where you just get a bunch of shortstops and a quarterback, you know what I mean, and you move them around and you figure it out. So I think it's very likely Ole Miss moves at least one infielder.
Yep.
Kind of early to speculate who that may be. I think they have more ability there with that freshman from Texas coming through and potentially be able to play second base. It would open up some more spots. But point being, there's opportunity for Plumlee and Ely here. If they have the time and the effort to do that. Now, Plumlee has already gone above and beyond. I know he was just hanging out with the guys last week after he got his knee scoped, was over there as much as possible. He's just a different kid. He's putting a lot of time in. I do wonder if he believes he's the starting quarterback in the offseason, what this looks like. I don't think he's planning to miss a lot of spring football practice. He's also trying to practice baseball every day. I don't know. But I think he's more college ready than Ely right now. I think he would have a better chance. And I was talking to somebody around the baseball program yesterday who goes, he just makes everybody else better around him. Basically, if we can get him out there in any way, I think it helps everybody with the program. Ely is an interesting case because he got some bad advice. He had a pretty simple swing when he played a lot of summer ball early in his high school career, a lot of his prep career in the summer wood bat stuff. And it was pretty effective. He could hit a little bit. It was not a liability. And at some point, his late junior year, somebody put a lot more movement in his swing.
Malpractice.
A leg kick, some more hand stuff. And it doesn't make sense for his skill set to begin with because he's used the speed, used your natural power, used your athletic ability. And then 2, the other thing it did was now I've got to go back and face a bunch of Mississippi high school pitching where all these leg kicks and stuff, I'm screwing myself in the ground because I'm not seeing elite arms night after night after night. So his stats take a huge plunge. His confidence takes a huge plunge. All of a sudden, scouts are going, well, hell, if you can't hit that, what are you going to do? So I think Ole Miss is going to do a lot to try to simplify that swing, get it back to what it looked like a few years ago, and then hope for the best. And, I mean, look, he's one athletic son of a gun. I don't know.
Tools.
Oh.
Tools and tools.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think there's a chance. And a lot of it is because there are no set. It'd be different if, like, hey, Elko's raking and Josh Hall's raking and this is going on.
And a running back can miss spring.
Oh, whatever. It would be good for him to miss spring. Don't get hurt.
Does not need spring football.
No. He can go camp out at Swayze all spring. It'd be all right.
In fact, he'd be better off not going through spring football where somebody accidentally tears his ACL.
Yeah. Go play baseball. Have a good time.
Yeah, run around out there. And
don't get hit in the nose with a ball. Thanks.
Yeah, hit a ball. Go for it.
Yeah. Plumlee, a little different animal as a quarterback.
The only thing I'll say is if you're right and Plumlee is playing his way into playing time, at some point you can't do both. Not at the same time.
He just doesn't get a chance to show that yet is the weird thing. You know what I mean? He's going to walk out there like he did in football because he wasn't here in the spring. He's going to walk out there in January and go, hey.
Here I am.
Hey, let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm fascinated by it.
I know it's not the popular opinion. I get it.
I'm being a little jerk here. It'll finally be a time that we can write some profiles on some football players.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Actually be able to go out and talk to one of these guys.
Yeah.
Without it being 400 people and 17,000 cameras.
I mean, look, yeah, you mentioned Plum was a pinch runner. Now, Ely could run all day long. I mean, duh. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Defensive substitutions late in games, that kind of thing.
Sure.
But can he actually get a role? That's the question. Can he get a role?
It's hard to do it.
I mean, there are 3 spots open out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's such an athletic kid, Plumlee.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
if he was just a baseball player, I would have penciled him in as a starter.
Ooh.
If he was just a baseball player.
Or he had fall ball and all that stuff.
Yeah. If he didn't play football and he was just a baseball signee and he showed up on campus, I'd be having the Connor Walsh kind of comments going, yeah, he's one of the dudes.
Well, I don't know the kid. I don't know his family. He seems like a phenomenal kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what his life dream is. And you know me. I defended Terrence Davis for 4 years and feel vindicated. I don't know what he wants to do. And if what he wants to do is to play in the NFL, hey, man, go for it. It's your life. Go for it. Absolutely your deal. Don't let anybody tell you no. But if what he wants to do is just play professional sports, and I don't know what he might not want to play pro sports. It might not matter to him.
I don't think he's even at that point. I think right now he just wants to play 2 college sports.
And then go play 2 sports.
I think he just wants to play two sports in college.
And tell everybody who goes, man, you need to be at spring football. No, I'm good. This is what I want to do. It's your life. Big believer in that. I am. You know that. I told my kids that when Campbell was like, what do you think? What do you want to do? Caroline just the other day, I want to dance. I know that everybody tells me I shouldn't make my decision off that, but that's what matters to me. Well, then do you.
Do that.
It'll be all right. Go where you want to go.
That.
Be okay. And to answer the question, do slot receivers need spring football? Look, how do I do this where I don't just upset everybody at the end of a show? He can, even as a quarterback, he can get spring football mentally if he's willing to do it, and he seems to be willing to do it. He can get over there and do some stuff. But if he's going to be a part of a baseball team that is playing in the SEC and he's a part of the team, and I don't mean that as an insult, but if he's doing more than being the guy that comes in and runs in the 8th inning, he needs to be at baseball.
Yeah, where team meetings and BP matter. Hey, we're locking in here.
Yeah, it's one thing if everybody on the team knows, hey, man, this kid can really run, and if Tim Elko gets a double in a tied game in the 8th inning, we're going to put him in as the winning run to run faster than Tim Elko can run. Is that fair?
Sure, yeah.
Everybody's cool with, hey, he missed a meeting. It's all right. He knows the signs.
The other players aren't pissed off. Okay,
right.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be a part of the team and you're going to be the guy that hits 8th and plays center field every day, you need to be there. and the football thing can wait. And at the end of the day, that's the one thing. You said that, and you're exactly right. Do what you want to do. Well, to finish my point, if professional sports mattered to him, baseball probably starts to move up the chain. I don't see him being an NFL quarterback.
Look, he's a heck of a talent. I mean, he could have, if he were just a baseball player and wanted to be drafted as high as he could possibly be drafted, he would have gotten a 7-figure contract.
Yeah.
He's good enough.
I think it was the Cubs or the Reds. One of the NL Central teams was really interested.
And I think the Twins was the call he got that was okay.
Yeah. Look, the Rich Rodriguez thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't. At the risk of just completely upsetting everybody, guys, nobody knows because nobody's talking.
Yeah.
I don't think any ADs, potential candidates, have really been contacted. I don't think that's moving very fast. I don't know what Matt Luke would do if he got I assume today he gets another year. Does he make an all? I have no idea. What changes, what doesn't change, no clue. No one knows.
Probably good for there. We'll wrap there for the day. Another podcast tomorrow. We'll get JG on at some point this week as well. You got a lot of other podcasts coming from MPW Digital this week and Content Rebel Grove. We mentioned Neil's mailbag tomorrow. We mentioned some fall ball stuff and more. So check it out. Join in the conversations, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.